Hello everyone, it's Shane Kanto, your Wasteland reviewer, and I'm here to review Hard Home, and this is from director James Bamford and writer Mark Shea Price, and this focuses on the story of a mother who's deeply saddened, lures her daughter's killer into a smart home in order to take revenge, and gets involved in a distorted game where life and death are on the line. And this on paper has a very interesting premise, right? Like using the smart house, trying to torture your daughter's killer. Sounds cathartic. But like the way that this is executed just doesn't feel interesting or engaging much at all. You have Simone Kessel, who's at the center as Mary, who's the mother who's taking on this very drastic approach to trying to get revenge on her daughter's killer. And I think she does a fine job for the lack of interesting material she's given to work with. There's some emotional moments that really should hit, and I think Kessel does her best to make it deliver. But with how this film, which is only like an hour and 27 minutes long, stretches this concept to its limits, feels just uninteresting. And you can tell this is made for very low budget. And like a film quality perspective, it's very sheeny. It doesn't look interesting in terms of like a visual perspective. And after a while, the premise gets old, runs its course, and the film never finds new ways to add interesting layers to keep the audience engaged. It gets repetitive. It gets, this could have been solidified in a much shorter amount of time, and it still would have had the same amount of impact. It just feels like it's stretching out narratively. It's incorporating some other characters who don't have a whole lot of depth. It's trying to play up that she's been investigating her daughter's murder and realizing like, hey, I found all these things that the cops just didn't find. And it's one of those kinds of things where it's just so far-fetched and ridiculous after a while, and you have to give up so much logic for this film to just keep going that eventually you're disconnected from, like, there's a big emotional anchoring piece to this story, and this film never feels like it hits that emotional level, and it feels kind of hollow. And in the end, I feel like this film squanders some potential here and never overcomes its limitations from a budget perspective, visually or narratively. And in the end, this kind of feels like a just throwaway horror thriller kind of thing that you'll find on VOD. But those are my thoughts on Hard Home. Let me know what you think, and let's talk some movies. But thank you as always for tuning in and supporting your Wasteland reviewer.